Welcome to another episode of The Latest with Maya. Today, I am very excited to be having a conversation with singer-songwriter Ryan Nealon. Ryan, thank you so much for being on my show. I am very excited to talk with you.
Oh, of course, Maya. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So let's get started. Um, Is there an artist or song that you consider to be the gold standard when it comes to songwriting and storytelling?
Wow, what a good question.
Yep.
I definitely have a lot of answers to this question. I think there are so many good songs that have been written. I think for me there are a few standouts from obviously this decade and then obviously from the older decade. I think for the most part um I love um Carole King for me is just the standard of songwriting. Her entire discography. For me personally, I love Carole King. I also love Stevie Wonder. Those were two people like from the older generation that I've just always like really been obsessed with, and I went to college for jazz studies because of just a lot of the influence I got from when I was younger. Like my family listened to a lot of like funk and jazz, so
Cool.
Stevie obviously fell into that category. But as far as like my songwriting that I do now, I take a lot of inspiration from artists like Phoebe Bridgers, Maggie Rogers, Holly Humberstone, Bon Iver. Just like the list goes on and on and on. But I think a song that like I really really like, and I think that has like truly helped me with my songwriting was pretty much the entire Punisher album. I'm not gonna lie, from Phoebe Bridgers. I think that whole album is amazing. But in particular, Garden Song is such a well written song. And that song in particular was something that I really, really latched onto as a writer. And apart from that, like Slow Burn by Casey Musgraves, I think is a perfect song. And The Joke by Brandy Carlisle is also a perfect song too. So I have like I could answer this question for a week. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. But I really really like that question because there's so many good songs, and I think there's so many amazing writers, and I think my main like the thing that I look out for as a writer with any song is just okay, does it make me feel anything? Do I understand the lyrics? Is it clear and is it to the point? And is it clever? So like there's a lot of different like assets to that, but that's definitely one of them.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah, I love all the all the artists you just named, and I love The Joke by Brandy Carlisle. I love her version, and then Ben Platt covered that song, and I love his cover of it, so I listen to the two all the time.
Oh, no. Ben's voice is also amazing too. I love Ben's voice. So good.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I love all of your music. Um,
Thank you. Thank you so
yeah,
much.
yeah, it's impossible for me to pick just one song. So, um, where does your inspiration for your songs come from?
Real life, baby. I think that that is like the best way that I could describe it. I mean, like with my music, I'm very um I look inward in a lot of my music, and I think like I was very afraid to kind of touch on the subjects that I've been touching on recently for obviously for a reason because like I think to publish my entire life and all of my insecurities and all of the things that I'm scared to talk about on the internet is really hard. But I definitely think that it has paid off. I've like, really grown a lot as an artist and as just like a person over the last couple of years with the songs that I've been writing. And it really just stems from my real life experience. I went through a lot of trauma when I was younger. I didn't necessarily process it in the same way that other people did. I suppressed a lot of it. And I am so grateful for my therapist, Suzanne. Love her. And also just like, I think songwriting in a form is therapy. You know what I mean? So like with every song that I would write, I would get more and more um answers as to like, why do I feel this way? Why is this connected to that? Like it would start to make more sense. And I think too that's why like this album that I've been working on for 4 years, it's been really really amazing to see kind of all the songs come together, because a lot of the songs were written like a few years ago, but there are some songs that made it. You know, I wrote my biggest song, "Feel Good." I wrote it this year, so like there's some songs that just come in, it just makes sense. And the title of my album for like this, I guess, chapter of music is called "Losing Sleep and Losing Friends," and I feel like really that is my 20s being encapsulated in a title. And that's kind of where like I really feel like the music that I've made in the last couple of years has been just like, a story of just how I've been processing, getting older.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with. I think songwriting definitely is a form of therapy because I um I write lyrics. I can't write music, but I write lyrics and it's helped me process a lot of things. So it's definitely a great way to get out all your feelings.
It's the best, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think too when when you're able to get, I guess, just like everything that you're thinking of on a piece of paper, even if it doesn't go anywhere. Like that's why there's so many cool stories with all these songs that I've been making. I remember a session in particular that I was in, like, God, this was last year, last September. I wrote a song that's coming out on my album next month. It's called "Tell You About Her." It's about my grandma who has dementia, or who had dementia. She passed away when um, I was 19 in 2014. And I remember showing up to that session, and I had never heard a song about, someone with dementia. I just never heard that before. And I had no plans for it. I was just like, you know what? I never processed this when I was younger. I think I definitely hit it, and I would like to just like write something, whether or not it leaves this room. And spoiler alert, it is leaving the room. But it's just like I I I think songwriting is so special because you don't there's no, like, you're not necessarily like you don't have to put it out if you don't want to. You can just write it
Yeah.
just to get it off your chest.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Um, do you have a particular process or place you go when you write your songs?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely very meticulous when it comes to writing. Am I'm not somebody who will sit in a room and write like 300 songs for a project. I'm very precious with my music. I'm definitely the type of person to be like, let me write like 10 to 20, and let me come up with some concepts, and this is what I want to hit. And when I go into a session, I have a concept. Um, I usually start it with like an hour to like an hour and a half of a discussion as to like how we're going to get to this concept, like how we're going to round it out. And then from there, it's just kind of like we'll add like a track to play underneath it. And then we'll start top lining, we'll start adding some lyrics, some filler lyrics. And that's kind of my process. I feel like it changes for everybody though. Some people start with melody, some people start with lyrics, but I'm definitely more of like a concept person than a lyrics person, and then the music, which is a little unorthodox, but I think there's no correct way to write a song. To
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
frank.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually I always have like an idea in my head first, or like I'll have a lyric pop into my head and then I form a whole idea around that one thing. So so I definitely get what you're saying. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's sweet.
Yeah. Um, is there a song of yours that is your favorite?
Oh God. You just asked me to name which one of my children is my favorite child. Man.
Tell the other ones, don't worry. Yeah.
um, man, that's really tough. I mean, like, I think for the most part, I really love all my songs, but I would have to say, like, oh man, it's between different songs for me. I think like if I'm judging it off of the way that a song has changed my life, obviously Feel Good. I think that song just brought me so many gifts and so many like um prosperous opportunities that have been amazing. As far as like writing goes, I think Visible. I think Visible is my favorite song that I've ever written. Only because it's just like it's really the most honest I've ever been with myself. And especially like when I moved to Los Angeles, I really changed who I was for a lot of like for a lot of other people. Like it wasn't even for myself. Like I changed to fit in. And I think Visible was the first time that I like openly admitted to doing that and pretty much like getting back on track to being the person that I actually am. And I think that I wrote that song in 2021 and it just came out in July. But I think like growing with that song was even more special than I thought it could be because I've been performing it literally since 2021. So to be able to say like, you know, I've grown with a song for 2 years before it even came out. Um, and it just means so much to me. It just really helped me as a person. So I would have to say Visible, I think is my favorite.
Oh, I love that.
As of now.
I love that.
Change tomorrow.
Yeah. Is there a song, either of yours or someone else's, that always brings a tear to your eye?
Absolutely. Um, wish I could think of it right now as you
Yeah.
I would say dang, what is a good song that brings a tear to my eye? I mean, um oh god. Body Bag by Charlotte Lawrence is a recent one that I've been like it's
Yeah.
really good. So good. That one definitely. Could You Afford to Lose Me by Holly Humberstone as well. Those two. Amazing songs.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I
I
really
was thinking
like
about that for a second. I was like,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I really like those songs too. And for me it's like uh there's a couple Kelly Clarkson songs and then also Ben Platt. Like his music, either it depends on what mood I'm in. I will either like scream the lyrics at the top of my lungs or I will just be sobbing.
yeah,
So
right.
there's no in between. It's one or the other. So yeah.
Yeah, another good contender. So a good friend of mine, it's also been really cool. I I remember my friend Maddie Zom showed me her song You Might Not Like Her, and I cried the first time I heard that. That was a really really beautiful song, and I think for her just because it meant so much to like her own story, I think that's really special that when artists can like touch on such personal subjects in their lives and so beautifully say it out loud.
Yes.
So definitely would say You Might Not Like Her by Maddie Zom is on that list as well.
Yeah. What is your favorite movie soundtrack?
Oh, this is actually gonna sound kind of weird. Well, I think there's two. I have two. Interstellar for sure. And then Out of Africa has one of the most beautiful soundtracks of all time with like Meryl Streep and Robert Redford. Such a good soundtrack. I'm a sucker for like a good orchestral scoring.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. I the first two soundtracks for me that immediately came to mind were for movies, there's the Prom. I'm
Oh, cute.
obsessed.
The Netflix movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with that one, and then the movie Spirited.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, I love that came out last year, and I am obsessed with that soundtrack. So
I love that. I
there's
know I
so
definitely
many though.
I know I gave you more of a nerdy answer for that question.
No, I like your answer. I have to go. I'll have to go look those up though, because I haven't seen those movies. So
Wait, you've never seen Interstellar?
no.
Interstellar is amazing. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I would say like there are a few movies where I would just like you should go see that, but I think you should definitely go see that
Okay. Yeah.
one. That's
Cool.
an order.
Yeah, I will write that down. Yeah. Yeah. So what gets you motivated, and how do you stay motivated on days that you aren't feeling it?
Oh God. Well, you are hitting me right when I'm not feeling it. Um, I think when you get to like the tail end of an album, you're so ready for it to be over. Like I would like I'm about to like just drive off a cliff. I'm so over it. But at the same point, these are problems that you ask for. And these are things that you like, you always want to happen to you without even realizing that it's happening to you. My friend Jules Brave taught me that. I think um, the best thing that I can do for myself is a reboot, good old fashioned reboot. Go to bed early, cook, do self care. If it's a little face mask, a massage that you get from down the street. And I, by the way, live next to the best massage place of all time. So it is awesome. Um, I might actually get a massage today. You might have inspired me. But I think for the most part, like, um, there's so many things that I can do. Coffee is a love language of mine. I love coffee.
Yeah.
And I think that can definitely change my mood immediately. If I'm not feeling it and then I like have a cup of coffee, I'm just like, all right, we're good to go now. Everything's better. But I do think though, beyond all that stuff, I think therapy too is a good proponent as well. I definitely try and rally as much as I can. I think like, being in the industry that I'm in, it's really hard sometimes to, I guess, like fake it. And I don't like faking it. I like being honest with my feelings. But I like to be able to like look at things in a positive lens as much as I can. I'm a very negative person just naturally because I've just, been beaten up a lot, like mentally. So naturally, I've been kind of conditioned to think that things won't go my way. And I'm trying to snap myself out of it because I know I don't deserve that for myself and for my growth. So, um, yeah, I know that's like such a loaded answer, but I guess like everything and anything is how I keep myself motivated. I think that's the best answer I can give.
Oh, I love that. If you had a warning label, what would it say?
Um, beware of wait, what would it say? I have to think about this. Um, well, what's it called when you like share too much?
Like an overshare?
I
I
guess like, beware of oversharing.
don't know. Yeah, I was like, what is that called? Now you
Yeah,
stumped me.
I guess like beware of oversharing. I think that's fine.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, definitely like
Yeah.
I'm very open and honest with kind of everybody. That might be my downfall, but I am super upfront with everyone about who I am as a person and
Yeah.
also what's going on in my life.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's the best thing to do. So, um, what three words best describe you?
um, ambitious, uh, determined, and goofy.
Yeah, I
I think
love
those
them.
three are good. Yeah. Also, I would say negative, but I feel like that would be negative for me to list negative. So we're not gonna do that. But that's a close B-side contender.
Yeah.
Self-doubt will not win the battle today.
Yeah. Um, so what is your favorite way to waste time?
Oh god, I love TV. I love TV. I also I love cooking a lot. I'm a big fan of baking as well. I just can't bake it all. So it is pretty funny. I started doing like a little series on my Instagram of just me baking things because I think like watching me fail so epically is pretty funny. And as the person who fails all the time, I was getting tired of not filming myself failing because I'm just like, this is a missed opportunity. And now I'm going to film myself failing. So it's very funny. But I do love cooking and I can throw down in the kitchen when it comes to cooking. Baking, I am getting better though. We are getting better. We are growing. But sadly, the growing is more so just my waistline going. Woo.
Um, well, since you mentioned you love uh television, is there a show that you're currently binge watching?
The Great British Baking Show, forever and always. That one for sure. I love. I mean, there's so many good shows that came out this year. The Last of Us was so good. I've also played the video game, so I love video games too. Um, I watch a lot of anime, very random. Love anime. My roommate and I watched Black Clover, which has like 170 episodes, and we finished it in like a month and a half. We were like obsessed. And then I also love Heartstopper. New season's great. Um, and it's just like I love a lot of just like the stuff that's popular. I know that's so basic to say. Um, that I'm like such loved Ahsoka that just was on Disney Plus. I love Star Wars, so like I watched the entirety of the Clone Wars and Rebels, and watched pretty much all those shows whenever they come out. Love the Mandalorian, so bunch of that stuff. I'm just a big like when I think about that, like the stuff that I like to watch. I am a big nerd, proudly a big nerd when it comes to that stuff. But I also like trash TV too. Like I can my yeah, my roommates and I recently watched Thousand Pound Sisters, and we're obsessed with them. We like love them. So I think it really depends. Like there's like so many different like brackets of my I guess TV taste.
Yeah.
But there's very rare time that I don't like something.
Mm, yeah.
Sorry, I'm giving you like
Yeah.
such crazy long answers. I
Oh,
just want to give you plenty of stuff to work with.
yeah, I was gonna say I love it, so thank you. Yeah, I love finding new shows to binge watch, so
Oh, baby, you came to the right place. Like,
yeah. Yeah, I'm watching I'm going back and forth between 3 shows right now.
ooh,
So,
what are you watching?
yeah. Well, so I'm with my mom, I'm watching the show Suits.
Cool.
Yeah, which is really good. And then uh when I'm just by myself, I'm watching Grimm and the Tomorrow People.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Awesome. I honestly haven't watched any of those, so I'm just like, okay, taking little notes.
Yeah.
Gonna have to possibly watch one of those.
Yeah, I was taking notes of all the things you were mentioning. So,
Amazing.
yeah. But I have seen Heartstopper and I love
I
that
know it's so good.
Yeah, it is. Um, So, who has had the biggest impact on the person you have become?
My mom.
Mm.
And I think in a unorthodox way. So my background is a little bit quirky. I grew up in a very strange situation where, my dad and my mom had me when I was like when they were like in their late 40s. Both of them were just like not really down to have a kid. And then it was just like one of those things, like it happened on an accident and my mom was just like, "You know what? I actually think that this is meant to be. So I'd like to, have this kid." My dad did not share that sentiment, so he did leave before like I was like I think he left when I was like 2 months old. And then we just like I never really heard from him after that. And then my mom ended up dying in a car crash when I was 5, and it was a really hard couple of years after that. It was a drunk driving accident, like a drunk driver hit my mom. And it was something that um my family just we never really recovered from it. We moved on from it. It doesn't necessarily mean that we forgot. Um I ended up getting adopted by my aunt and uncle, who are the best people in the entire world, and I call them my mom and dad because that is what I've known them to be my whole entire life. And I do think it is just like it's one of those like divine things where my aunt always wanted kids but she couldn't have them. And I think the world was like preparing her to like have me as her son. And she was just somebody who always encouraged me to like follow my dreams. She always knew that I was a little fruity and she didn't say anything about it. And she just like she was the most accepting. And when I remember when I talked to her about it, I was just like, "Mom, you wouldn't mind if I like, ever brought like a guy home, right?" And she's just like, "No." Like she just couldn't care less. And I think it made me realize like just how cool she is and how grateful I am. And I think there were a lot of things too that like I just feel really blessed and fortunate to have had, not only my aunt but my uncle as my mom and dad. So yeah, I would have to say my mom slash aunt is the person that I would probably say is most uh, responsible for the person I am. I had to think of the right word.
Oh, I love that, and I'm so sorry to hear about um
Oh, you're really sweet. It's literally been 23 years. So, you know, time definitely can heal some wounds. They'll never close for sure, but I think that, you know, we've done the best that we can and move on. So I'm very grateful that, I've been able to live my life to the fullest and be able to pursue my dreams in Los Angeles. It's kind of crazy. So very fortunate.
yeah. Um so what genre of movie would your life story be told as?
Oh man. Um Honestly, like I have the theatric in me wants to say drama just because I know like how much of my life feels like a production, but it's honestly like I'm very overdramatic and very ridiculous. So like I'll have a minor inconvenience and I'll treat it like an Oscar award winning performance, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's just like I would say drama, but it would be like a drama slash comedy. So maybe like a dramedy.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd probably be what it would be.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I I somehow wanna figure out how, I want my life story to be told as a rom-com. So I wanna figure out because I love rom-coms, so I wanna figure out some way my life could be told as that.
So sweet.
Um, so, I love inspiring and motivational quotes. And this week, my favorite quotation is from the movie Dead Poets Society. And it's no matter what people tell you, words and ideas can change the world. Um, is there a quotation that has inspired you lately?
I think too, this is just my favorite quote of all time. When people show you who they are, believe them.
Mhm.
I think that there are a lot of times where, like, when I was starting out, like really early in my career, like I was very bright eyed and I sadly got super jaded because of just the way that, people took advantage of me when I was younger. And I think that the biggest lesson I could give anybody, especially people in the entertainment field, is like your friends, you will know who your friends are. And the people that want to use you, you also will know who they are.
Yeah.
But it's a lot like if you find yourself making excuses for somebody or their behavior and it's like the same thing over and over again, I think you should believe them the first time. That's
Yeah.
just like one quote that I really just I utilize every day because I genuinely think that, like, this is a dog eat dog world, especially in Los Angeles. Like, you can't be completely like I just yeah, I won't let myself get taken advantage of anymore. That's something too. Like, I really pride myself on that. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I love that. Um, well, it was so much fun talking with you. You just made my day, and so I really appreciate you taking the
No, thank
time
you,
to
Maya.
join me. So
Made
thank you.
mine.
Sorry, what? You just broke up.
Oh, I said you made my day.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
No, thank you.
And I hope you have a great rest of your day. And yeah,
Oh, thank you, Maya.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
you too. I hope you have the best day ever.
thank you. You too. And that's a wrap on today's edition of The Latest with Maya.